Alright, hey everybody. I'm a bit sick and nasally, so I'm sorry about that, but I wanted to talk about this. Bernie Sanders has pulled one of his favorite moves and has thrown out some slightly misguided accusations and charges against Walmart, saying that, quote, Walmart CEO made 1,076 times their median employee last year. The Walton family makes $25,000 a minute. Don't tell me they can't afford to pay a living wage. They choose not to out of greed. And together, that's the kind of greed we're going to end. Now, first off, as usual, there's some slightly disingenuous stuff in here. The Walton family does not actually make $25,000 a minute. They simply own a great deal of assets whose valuations and prices fluctuate and ebb and flow, so on paper their worth increases that much, but they don't have a bank account that increases on any time frame to the tune of $25,000 a minute. The reason this is important to understand is because it will show just how pointless, ineffective, and counterproductive whatever proposal Bernie Sanders wants to make in regards to Walmart. The Waltons do not have access to this money, so they can't pay this living wage to 1 to 2 million people for any significant amount of time. The money is tied up in properties, assets, capital goods, real estate, etc. In order for Bernie Sanders to get what he wants, you would have to force the Waltons to liquidate an unprecedented number of assets to even get that money in the first place that Bernie Sanders seems to think is just being hoarded in a bank account somewhere. The money Bernie Sanders is talking about is tied up in the HVAC systems that warm or cool off the customers' employees, the refrigeration systems that keep the food they sell from spoiling, the forklifts, the trucking, the buildings, the lights, the cash registers, etc. Bernie Sanders has an unbelievably naive perspective on this, and given his age and how much experience and knowledge he should have garnered by this point, the fact that he still doesn't get this is sad beyond words. Now, another very important point is this. Walmart has 2.2 million employees worldwide. I'm assuming Bernie Sanders cares about foreign workforces as well. So the supposed $25,000 a minute that the Waltons make is about $1.5 million an hour. That would come out to 68 cents an hour per employee. So you could fleece the Waltons and take everything they've got, and their hourly wage workers would get about $7 extra a day. That's it. And of course, that is not taking into consideration that if you force the Waltons to divest and liquidate to that degree, that it would annihilate Walmart down to its foundation, and then none of them would have a job to begin with, and they'd be making $0 an hour. And consumers, who by the way voluntarily choose to do business with Walmart for the value they receive from them, they would no longer have them as an option to satisfy their demand for a large number of cheaper products and services that Walmart offers. And consumers and hourly wage workers, by the way, overlap with one another. They're the same person. So you want to make a place like Walmart, who doesn't have a huge profit margin actually, you want them to pay their employees more across the board. This would increase costs, and who do you think is going to pay for that? It would be the consumer in the form of higher prices. The very person that Bernie Sanders claims he'll be the savior for is the exact same person that Bernie Sanders would be screwing royally if he ever got his way. The guy is naive beyond words. But that is all for now. Please take it easy.